Use the beside you. Make sure this doesn't get countered. There's a Storm Herd. Today at Commander Replay, will this Starnheim Unleashed tribal deck help our opponents ascend to the halls of Valhalla? Find out next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange. Welcome back everyone to playing some Jenara, Asura of War, Starnheim Unleashed Tribal today. Take a look at this opening hand. Normally this would be a fine opening hand, but it's a little light on ramp, which I don't like. There's like 16 pieces of ramp. I know this is one of them, but I want something just a little bit faster than this. So I'm going to mulligan that. These are kind of like more late gamey type things. Oh, that's not great. Looks like we're going to 6. This is fine, I guess. Beside you is going to be a little awkward. Let's keep... What are we putting back? Storm Herd? Storm Herd we can put back. So, I've never actually played Jenara. It's one that I've been wanting to play for a long time now, even though this won't be a true build-around-me Jenara type deck where she's the main focus of what we're doing. We're going to use her just as an early creature to get some value with this Dowsing Dagger. We've got like a Rishkar's expertise in the deck, attacking, blocking, that sort of thing, just to like not have anything in play while we're ramping. And obviously the colors are also important as well. There's a green that's actually really helpful. So if we play the Wooded Foothills, crack this and get something with some blue in it, I think that's going to be a pretty good idea. Blue-white. How much double green is in this deck? I see a fair amount, actually, so let's go for a Breeding Pool tapped. And we'll pass like that. Opponents got themselves an Arcane Signet and a Soul Ring for the Raynar opponent. Let's take a peek at what we're facing. Marisi! Oh no, not Marisi. Gross. Marisi's such a bad time. There's a Tundra off the top. Tundra is cool. Play a Tundra. Play a Dowsing Dagger. Oh, who wants to be friends? We'll give the Raynar the tokens. I feel like they could use the help. Soul Ring coming in for opponent. That's not great. I'd prefer Marisi stayed out of play. As long as humanly possible. If you've never faced Marisi before, Marisi being piloted by Mockfire, by the way, and we've seen this deck on the channel a number of times now, the thing that happens with Marisi and the goad mechanic in general is that you lose agency of your creatures. You can't decide what you want to do with them. You have to attack with them, and you can't attack the player you want to attack with them, being Mock in this case. It actually feels terrible when it's happening to you. So I would love to keep this Marisi out of play. That would make me so happy, but this deck is heavy on board wipes. It's got a little bit of spot removal in it. Board wipes are great for when you want to slow the game down, which is what this deck is all about. It just, you know, you want to get things going nice and slow so you can just keep making land drops, draw some extra cards, ramp a little. Just, you want to get to that point in the game where you just have a lot of mana so you can dump it into something like Starnheim Unleashed or Entreat the Angels. And that's the plan today. Raynar coming in for opponent. There's a Seraphic Greatsword. With this deck, I took the opportunity to play a lot of things that I don't normally play, so I jammed it in there. We'll see what happens. We may actually get a pretty good look at it in this game, so that could be exciting. Okay, let's see. So if we go blue, green, white, that should make a lot of sense, I think. So play a land, cast Jenara. Oh, opponent's got an Aven Mind Sensor. I actually don't like that for a couple reasons. One, our deck wants to ramp, and it's going to be bad for searching for lands. Two, that's a flying blocker. Flying blockers are not great. There's an Iroas. Iroas is cool. Opponent's going to attack us. It's got Menace now. Nope, changes their mind. Holds it back. Yep, probably because of the Dowsing Dagger. Also, this is a 2/3 flyer, and it's kind of like they attack there, and then we could all attack them, and they're kind of wide open, that sort of thing. Sylvan Library. So here's the deck list. This somewhat typical ramp deck, maybe a little bit heavy at 4 mana right here. Maybe a Touchlight on 2 mana spells, but this is kind of where we ended up. Some removal, some ramp, and then we see all of our angel spells. Finale of Glory, that's a removal spell. Entreat the Angels, Decree of Justice. We got a couple draw spells. We got a Storm Herd. We've got Parhelion. We've got Devout Invocation, which I really hope we don't draw at any point, because I threw it in here because it's on theme, not because it's going to be particularly effective in this deck. We've got Amaria's Call, Imperial Storm, Descend Upon the Sinful, one that I probably should use more and don't. So yeah, we've got a fair number of cards that I don't really use a lot that we haven't seen on the channel that much. I threw a mirror weave in here just in case we want to get silly. If there's something cool on board and if we have 10 angels in play, I think that could be really interesting. I almost went for the new one too, but I opted for an extra card draw spell just to round out the deck a little bit, make sure we don't get stuck. Also got Sarah the Benevolent, another one that I haven't really played before. There's Starnheim Unleashed. Felidar Retreat is one that I've been trying to get into a deck and just hasn't made its way in anywhere. We got Primal Vigor, we got some token doubling, so we've got a Seraphic Greatsword. Brave the Sands finally made it into a deck. One it's been like the 102nd card in so many of my decks, but yeah, so we've got a good number of cards that I have not played on the channel before, and hopefully we get to use them. They've got a 1/1 flyer, so they would just block. Asking Nate what the likelihood I'm flipping this Dowsing Dagger is, he says, who's to say? That being the case, might just swing into Mock. So equip the Dowsing Dagger to the Jenara, and swing over to Mock. See if he wants to block. Because if he keeps this in, he can goad us with Marisi. He just has to cast his commander, and then he can attack someone and goad them. And that's probably better than giving up the Mind Sensor right here. I actually avoided using Sword of the Animist and Mask of Memory in this deck, but I really thought about it. Opponent lets it through. Dowsing Dagger's gonna flip over. Love it. Getting our ramp going. So we get ourselves a Lost Veil. That being the case, let's get this Felidar Retreat. Let's play the Beside You. It does enter tapped. We don't have anything else to do right here, so seems like a good time for it. We're gonna make a 2/2 Cat Beast. That'll give us some kind of ground blocking, just in case everyone gets goaded right here. We can have some sort of blocking to not get crushed, hopefully. It is actually nice that, like, Jenara is a bit of a decoy in this deck. So many decks you play now where just everything's built around the commander, and it's obviously powerful to do that, and the commanders are so good that there's a lot of incentive to do that, so like you really have to want to be doing something else to not do that, and it's just a nice feeling that, sure, I'm not going to like it if this Jenara goes down, but it's not backbreaking. It doesn't mean that we can't win the game, because we have other things that we're looking to do. I did that podcast with Benny Smith that came out last week, and we talked about what Commander was like 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, you would see more decks like that. Not every deck was built around the Commander as the win condition. Sometimes it was just there for colors or as a support piece. And, you know, that's very different than how things are today. It was much more common back then, that, especially with colors, because you didn't have that many options in a lot of different colors. 10 years ago, before the first Commander precon, other than Abzan, the wedge colors had only the Planar Chaos Dragon. There were no 4 colors. The 5 color commanders that were out there were much less good. They were very narrow. You had things like Reaper King and Chromat, Scion of the Ur-Dragon, but they were all these like very narrow things, like one does dragons, one does scarecrows, etc., etc. Not like Golos and Sisay, which are do whatever you want to do. Anything you want to do, you can do with this deck. So it was just different back then, but yeah, you used to see a lot more just like, I want this commander for the colors, or stuff like that. So anyway, some thoughts on it. I'll leave a link to the podcast in the description below. Opponent gets themselves a Utopia Sprawl, card that I should probably use a little bit more than I do. Been looking at that one in Wild Growth, trying to get it into some more decks. Even like Overgrowth, I think is a pretty powerful card that gets left behind a lot of the time. Primordial Sage for opponent. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may draw a card. Oh, this is Kethis Kamigawa Spirits deck, isn't it? It is. Oh, God. Well, we need to get to our thing before he gets to his thing. Who got goated, by the way? Marisi is now in play. Oh, I see. So when he attacked in with the Aven Mind Sensor, Epsilon blocked with a Spirit and Raynar. Mind Sensor stays alive because of the second Iroas ability. So no one is goated this turn, thankfully. Yeah, Marisi can be really strong. It snowballs is what happens, because one player is continuously open, and then they have to attack somewhere else, and then it gets out of control really quickly. Brings back to our turn, we draw a Fumigate. Could be helpful at some point. Let's play a land. Felidar Retreat. What are we getting? That'll give it 2/2. I think that's fine. Let's make another 2/2 just to keep having ground creatures. Probably could have waited on the land, actually, but whoops. Play the Seraphic Greatsword. Equip the Seraphic Greatsword. Yeah, there we go. Why is it so much to equip? This would be worth it if it was like maybe 2 and 2. 2 and 4 is so much. Swing over to Epsilon. They do have the most life, and that is how this thing works. 4/4 going in their way. Ouch. They take that hit for 9, down to 32. 5 commander will pass like that. Cultivate for opponent. Great card. We need to find some card draw. That's where we're at. We need to keep powering through the lands and find our way into some X spells. Put a decent amount of card draw in the deck. Definitely gave up on a few other fun things that I was looking to include to make sure that we did have some card draw in here. But yeah, for the time being, we're going to be more or less living off the top. We're not completely empty-handed yet, but I am getting nervous. There are now 2 Sylvan Libraries in play, so plus a Primordial Sage, opponents are going to outdraw us handily in this moment. I've had a weird relationship with Luminarch Ascension. You guys will see that I don't run it very often in a lot of my decks. And many times going back over the years, 5, 6 years, whatever, I would play a Luminarch Ascension and it would just get me killed. This thing puts such a target on your back. And I know it can be a powerful card, but it just seems to always backfire on me, which is what makes me super nervous about playing it, and which is why I haven't played it yet. If someone plays something big and scary, maybe we play a Fumigate and wipe the board. That would be the most logical time to drop the Luminarch Ascension in. Yep, we're going to get goated. Opponent hits us with the Mind Sensor, sends the 5/4 over to Nate. He's going to get goated. I don't know, maybe next turn. Now that everything's goated, it's going to be kind of a mess. There's an Erebos, God of the Dead. That's going to trigger the Primordial Sage. They'll draw a card. Where's Nate going? 1 our way. We got a 4/5 coming our way. Yeah, we'll block with the 2/2. And Epsilon's going to block with their O2 plant. The plants are really handy when Marisi is on the loose. Opponent does have a Ancestral Vision ticking down. It's got 3 counters on it. Cloud Blazer is a really nice card. Unfortunately, because of the goad, we can't attack the player with the most life, who is Mock, to be able to get another Angel right here. This is unfortunate. Well, they're not going to have the most life any longer because Epsilon's sending a big old attack over their way. There's a Traverse the Outlands. That is some ramp. Oh, let's see. Well, we get 5 landfall triggers? Oh man, if we put 5+ counters on everything. The problem is we're not going to have any blockers. That's the problem. Now that the life totals have changed, we can actually attack Epsilon. And let's just see if this works. We should Traverse the Outlands, I think. Use the Beside You. A Swords would be not great right now. Although, we still have this Angel. The Angel still gets us 4 lands. Oh god, there's an Aven Mind Sensor in play. I completely forgot. Wow, crushed. Crushed, no basic lands. Well, I guess play a forest. Yeah, let's make a cat because the cat is not goated. Wow. I was so excited to play that Traverse the Outlands too. Card I never run. Completely forgot about the Mind Sensor. Whoops. Not great. Not great. Oh man, I really don't want to lay down that Luminarch Ascension yet. Well, that's how you waste a turn. Probably better off just playing the Fumigate this turn. I'd love to get Nate to use the Makokoro. Send this one over to Epsilon because they have the most life. Send this one to Nate. Send this one to Epsilon because they can block it. Oh, we have more life than opponent. Right. Guess that doesn't make an Angel. Wow. Ha! There's that downside of the Greatsword kicking in. We have more life than our opponents right now. Oy. Opponents take some damage. We will pass like that. Oh my god, it's a crescendo of war. Yeah, now we're going to have to wipe the board. That thing is insane. Selfless Spirit. Ugh. Yeah, Selfless Spirit's not great. That also animates the Iroas. Nate thought about something. Changed his mind, though. We got a 2/1 coming our way. 7/4 over to Epsilon and 5/4 over to Nate. We cannot block. Letting opponents know we've got the Fumigate if they want to deal with the Spirit. That would be the most ideal. Yes, can activate the Makokoro. We need cards. It's a Reliquary Tower. It's a land. That's not exactly what we were looking for. Swords on the Selfless Spirit. They'll probably just sack it so it doesn't get exiled. But, ooh, exiled card. Raynar is going to make a Spirit. Counter on the Crescendo of War. God, that's so good when you can just goad everyone. So ridiculous. Like, these couple flyers over there could blast us. So Nate's going to split it up. We got the 5/5 coming our way. It would actually be good if they block with the Spirit right there just to cut down the amount of damage that they'll do back, at least to us, although maybe they just kill Mock. We're going to block the 5/5. Try and not take that damage. Iname Death Aspect. Search your library for any number of Spirit cards, put them into your graveyard, shuffle. Oh, right, there's an Aven Mind Sensor in play. Oh, interesting. So then the swords from Nate triggered the Raynar, which it shouldn't have because it's supposed to be you control. Whenever you exile one or more, they did not do the exiling. Ancestral Vision ticking down. Winds of Abandon. We may not even get to ramp because of the Mind Sensor. Actually, we might. How does that timing work? Because it'd be exile, then we search. So I think it's out of play, although state-based effects haven't been checked at that point. Should be interesting. Oh, yeah, we can search. Sweet. Lands. Get a plains. Get an island, I guess. Make sure we have colors we need to do stuff. We'll get 2 landfall triggers. That's cool. We can probably save our Fumigate now. Although, Crescendo of War is still in play. Maybe we wait a turn. We do get 2 Felidar Retreat triggers. There's a Raynar trigger. Back to the command zone with Jenara. Make a 2-2. Make a 2-2. Uh-oh. Opponent send in a Raynar our way. 3-1 over to Nate. 4-2 over to Mock. Yeah, we're going to take a little in the air. Ooh, nice. Nate's going to Nature's Claim the Crescendo of War. Crescendo of War was about to make this game super fast. So this should slow it down, give us a little time to draw a bit more. Also, importantly, not getting used on our stuff. All that being the case, I think we wait on the Fumigate. I don't think we have any reason to Fumigate right now. I know there's a few things over here, but now that they're not doing absurd amounts of damage, I think it's fine. Once again, we have the highest life total, so Seraphic Greatsword, not great. Not great. There's another land. That's not what we were looking for. Play the Reliquary Town. Maybe we go for the plus counter mode. Yeah, let's do that. Cast Jenara. Play the Reliquary Tower. I think this time we go for the +1/+1 counter. Ooh, we get Vigilance too. Let's play the Luminarch Ascension. I guess we equip the Greatsword because we just don't have much else going on. I know we could pump Jenara, but it's not really what the deck is supposed to be. We'll send both of these over to Mock, since his deck does make us lose the ability to use our creatures in the way that we want to, so he can take 6 damage. Sylvan Library for opponent. Probably not going to take the extra draw since they're at 13. Sun Titan into play. Only a land in their graveyard, that's fine. They're going to crack a Windswept Heath. Almost said quack a Windswept Heath. That's a Rishgar's expertise. I'm jealous. I want to draw some cards. We need to find our X spells. Nate thinking not? No, he's going to draw with Erebos. Not the removal spell, just going for the card draw. Everyone drawing cards. We're not drawing cards. I should have just put Mask of Memory in the deck. I'm like, no, I put it in every deck, especially with a flyer. I'll change the cards I use, and now we're not drawing cards, and now I'm very sad. This is what happens. This is what happens when you change things up. Traverse the out. Wow. Opponent's going to ramp and draw a whole bunch. They've got 8 cards in hand now, so they've definitely made themselves the threat. If they hadn't already been doing that all game to begin with. Luminarch Ascension trigger, we're going to get a counter on it. 3 to go. It does require 4 counters to be active. Thalia's Lancers, uh-oh. Any legendary card, I believe? Legendary card. Means it can be a sorcery. One of those random things. Doesn't need to be a permanent. What do they get? They get the Great Henge. Just going for all the card draw. Into an Azusa, no big deal. Draws a card. Nate, kind of threatening now. Oh, it didn't activate the Makokoro. Oh, there's 2 lands. Now we can activate the Makokoro, crack all the fetches. Everyone's super low on life, though. And there's the Makokoro. Hey. Into a Storm Herd, yes. Do we have enough mana? That thing's so much mana that we might not actually be able to cast it. 2 counters on the Luminarch Ascension. Ancestral Vision ticking down. We'll have 12 mana, which is exactly enough to cast Storm Herd and activate Luminarch Ascension 1 time. Actually, we'll have 13 once we play a land. We'll want to play the land after the Storm Herd. Oh no, opponent's going to return to dust our Luminarch Ascension, although they're getting rid of the Iroas, and that I can fully support. 2 Raynar triggers, yeah, they get some spirits. We still have the highest life total, so we still can't get any more angels off of this Greatsword. So annoying. Why would you do this to us? White Mythic. Plays like an uncommon at best. Of course, the second thing that happens with the Luminarch Ascension is that someone shoots it before it's active. One of the two, either they kill you or they shoot it. Neither of those are great. Nate guessed the theme. I hadn't told him what the theme is yet. It's Starnheim Unleashed Tribal. He says, yeah, that tracks. We can take Mock out of the game, which we should probably do. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, this hand just went from, like, decent to probably game-winning. Everyone's tapped out. So, play a Concordant Crossroads. Told Nate I'm going to buy him a beer sometime because things just shaped up a little too good for us. Use the Beside You. Make sure this doesn't get countered. There's a Storm Herd. Play the Tectonic Edge. Put a +1/+1 counter on everything. Having a laugh with opponents. Go to combat. Swing into Mock. Swing into Nate. I think it's actually going to take a bit to kill Epsilon. I should probably, I haven't really been closely tracking how much I'm doing to each opponent here. They've got blockers, too. I think we can pull a few back on Mach and send a few more at Epsilon. Attack like that! Nate says YouTube comments will remember me. Oh, I appreciate you, buddy. Opponent's going to try and block? I haven't done the math. I don't know if they're going to survive or not. They survive at 5. We probably could have gotten there with more careful tracking of our combat damage. Let's see what opponent's got. I think they're going to get some extra cards this turn. Yeah, here comes the Ancestral Vision. Something like Board Wipe would be a great start. We don't have a ton of gas, although Austere Command would be good. They need to go Austere Command, blow up the enchantments, get rid of our Concordant Crossroads. Oh, Storm Herd. Spectral Deluge. Return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less. Uh-oh. Yeah. All the Storm Herd creatures are gone. They still got to deal with this flyer. They've got a blocker. Got some 4/4s on the ground. We can kind of just grind them for a little bit. Got some mana up. If they get us, like, mid-combat or something, that would be not great. Spectral Deluge, huh? That one is not on my radar. Oh, it's the Foretell version of all the other ones that bounce equals the number of islands. That's a cast a creature spell. We'll just go to combat and see what happens. Send them all. Opponent's gonna momentary blink on the core cartographer. Sure. Get themselves a land first. Raynar is gonna make a spirit. Seems good. Seems good. More blocking. Opponent's gonna chump block all 3. Yeah. Their commander stays in play. Well, let's get the Zendikar Resurgent in. Pass like that. Vega the Watcher coming in. More chump blockers. Draws with the Commander Sphere. Ooh, gonna return Jenara to our hand. Okay. We can recast it. It still has haste. Got to deal with the Crossroads. Opponent leaving mana up. Seems good. That one's got Vigilance. They can poke us. Send them both. Oh, they untapped that one. There's a Mana Crypt. Play a Mana Crypt. Play Jenara. Oh god, they all make double. Zendikar Resurgent trigger. There's a Descend Upon the Sinful. Activate Jenara one time. I guess put the sword on it. Go to combat. Find out what opponent's got. Settle the wreckage, maybe? Sigrid. Why is Sigrid not on my radar? Flash. First strike. Protection from god creatures. Enters the battlefield. Exile up to 1 target attacking creature. That would be our commander. Until it leaves the battlefield. It's a 2/2. They're going to have to block. No. We'll leave it in exile. They'll get a spirit. Nice play, opponent. Nice play. Opponent chump blocks both. Those go down. Jenara comes back. We will put the sword back on Jenara. Pass like that. I hope opponent can lay down a big austere command, because I really just want to draw into Starnheim Unleashed or Entreat the Angels. Although we have... No, all of our creatures would be small, so they could blow up all of our creatures with austere command on enchantments and small creatures. Ooh, Rest in Peace. Graveyard's off. Rest in Peace does not trigger Raynar. Has to be permanents on the battlefield. Ghostly Flicker. Interesting. Raynar makes a spirit. Still got 3 blockers. Ooh, emergency powers. Wheel, you say? Found him. We got one. We got Imperial Storm. Nice. Restoration Angel. Okay, okay. Blinking the Vega. More blockers. Another spirit. Yeah, they have a bunch of spirits. Back to our turn. Mana Crypt. Tails. Lost the flip. Soul Ring. This should do it. Play Imperial Storm. Here's one I've never played. I actually had to buy it for this deck because I didn't even own one. Never even gave it the time of day. We've cast our commander a few times, so we should get a few on this. It's going to copy twice. I'm going to get a bunch of 4/4s. There's a 4/4. Oh, I should have played the Cathar's Crusade first. Whoops. Whoops. Got excited. They have 6 blockers. We have 6 creatures. We would need an additional creature is what we would need. We can play the Crashing Drawbridge. It can't attack, but might be able to draw into another creature. Let's try it. Actually, let's get that Cathar's Crusade like we talked about first. Get the Soul Ring. Crashing... Oh, Landfall. Yeah, Landfall would make a beast. Okay, there we go. Play a beast. Get a 2/2. Cathar's Crusade. Play the Crashing Drawbridge. Oh, there's a Rishkar's Expertise. Cathar's Crusade. Rishkar. I know we can pump it up, but trying not to ham it, but one more creature will give a... Oh, well, that just happened. Windfall. I guess we Windfall. Hey, there's a Sarah the Benevolent. That'll make us the last creature that we need. Oh, no, opponent gets another spirit. I guess play Sarah. Make a 4/4. 4/4, they're all 5/5s. I think we're good now. We can go to combat now. I should really try this card more. I really just haven't played it at all. I'm not a big Planeswalker guy. You guys know me. So that's one of the reasons. And to me, it doesn't jump out at me as way better than other 4-mana Planeswalkers that are available. I like Duretti a lot for my equipment decks. I've occasionally used Red, White, Nahiri. The Exile can be nice, but the tapped clause on there can be tricky, so Opponents definitely made it interesting for us here at the end. I'm glad because we got to see a few extra cards that we wouldn't have otherwise. Sarah, and we've got this Finale of Glory in hand if the worst should happen. We're actually tapped out too, so like if opponent made a bunch more creatures, they could make a big strike back at us. Opponent says, I accept this as my ticket to Valhalla. Down they go, 48 damage. They could have blocked a lot of it, but yeah, Starnheim Unleashed Tribal. We got to see some Stormherd today, and a very lethal and effective Stormherd nonetheless, so that was exciting. Didn't really see any of the X spells like Finale of Glory, Entreat, or Starnheim Unleashed, which is over in the 4-drop section. But we did get to see a few other things that we don't normally see. We got a few cracks with Seraphic Greatsword. Yeah, it's underwhelming. It is definitely underwhelming. It maybe wasn't as bad as I've talked about previously in some videos, but it still wasn't great either. Like, it's definitely underwhelming. It's just frustrating that, like, you pay so much for that ability, the 4 to equip, and we got one trigger, I think. I think we got one angel because we had more life than everyone else for the rest of the game, and that was frustrating. So it's definitely a frustrating card to play, so I highly do not recommend playing it. Stormherd's always a good time, though. The Concordant Crossroads off the top is what makes it good. By itself, it very much just gets wiped by opponents, and we're very sad for the 10 mana that we invested. But yeah, I can't believe this deck worked. How about that? I didn't think this would go that well, especially after we misplayed into the Aven Mind Sensor with the Traverse the Outlands. I would have loved to have pulled all those lands out of our deck just so we didn't draw them later, but that was kind of a thing. Nate misplayed into it also with his Spirit guy. Couldn't search his deck and dump them all into the graveyard, but yeah, fun little deck. Glad we got to see some Stormherd. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, the link below.